This fast growing colony needs some expansion soon. Welcome to a new video about my favorite ants, Camponotus nicobarensis. In this video I'm going to move my Camponotus nicobarensis colony into a new ant nest, so stay tuned for that. For the new subscribers, let me tell you a bit of history about this colony, since it can be a little confusing if you see their numbers. I got this colony around 6 months ago from Ants of Europe, and I was very nervous because this was my first exotic species. Camponotus nicobarensis comes from Asia and mine are from China to be more exact. The colony did really well and I was very surprised about how much food they consumed. They grew rapidly in the test tube and I moved them into a small fusion nest from Ant Lab. In hindsight, this wasn't the best idea and later the colony moved back into the test tube. Around this time I was developing my new mesh nest and my Nicos would be the perfect colony to test the new nest. They moved pretty fast, the nest was a little big for them, but okay. And that is where we ended the video last time. Are you ready for the big reveal? Whoa! The colony exploded! This is only in 1 month, so you can see how exponentially these ants grow. Keep watching this video to see yet another boom in their numbers. I made a lot of very nice footage regarding the ant colony. I will save that footage for the end of the video, where I let you watch it in peace. Because these ants are quite large, it's a lot easier to record these ants. It is quite funny that these ants don't like the mesh that much. They can walk on it just fine, but rather not stay on it. So far I haven't seen any colony yet that performs this behavior. The mesh nest was sold to numerous people and I haven't seen any colony have trouble with the mesh. Of course my colony does. Even though I didn't record it, I saw the queen sitting still on the mesh several times, so it should be fine. A few weeks later the colony grew even more. It was getting really cramped in the nest, so I decided they had to be moved into a new and bigger nest. Luckily again, around this time I was developing the medium and large version of the mesh nest, so I chose my Nicos again to be the testers. This is going to be interesting since I can now really see more behavior and nest organization. Within a static ants nest belongs an static ants outworld, right? I really wanted to connect my own outworld to this nest, since then I would have my first full static ants setup. So I assembled an outworld and started to connect it. To help me connect the setup, I'm using these tube connectors that are also available on my website. I think tube connections are heavily underrated, as I will show you in this video. They just add a lot of extras modular systems can't provide. I used one T connector and two L connectors to connect both nests. First I connected the new nest. Then I disconnected the old nest and attached it to the setup. This went quite smoothly and not that many ants escaped. It was quite hard to collect the escapees and place them back into the outworld, but in the end it worked out. It was funny that all the workers occupied this corner of the outworld. No idea why. The move could begin. It was going to be a waiting game, but not a long one. I put the setup on the ant desk and routed the heat cable through the new nest. It did not take long before all the brood was transported to the heat source. With exotic species, heat will make them move so quickly it's insane. A day later, almost all ants moved. Doesn't this look amazing? I love the look of the ants, the nest and the aesthetic in general. As you can see, the ants are still scared of the mesh, and here you can see they piled up all the brood on this so-called dry spot. If you look closely, you can see that the feet of the ants are larger than the mesh. The mesh is really fine and the eggs definitely won't fall through, as some people are concerned about. I love the look of nicobarensis and they are so beginner friendly. They aren't stressed quickly and are very gentle, at least in my experience. The queen remained in the old nest, but when I was recording the outward activity of the ants, she secretly moved into the new nest without me noticing. You can't see her that well, but she's definitely in there. So, I was in luck, because this meant I could disconnect the old nest and make the setup more compact. This went super easy and I'm very glad that I could do it in time for this video. I moved the ants back on the ant desk and put the ants on the heat cable. EA, aren't you gonna feed this colony like you normally do? Yes, let's do this now. I fed the ants some superworms, but this wasn't very interesting. I'd much rather show you some other shots I made from the ants inside the nest. So let's end the video right here and enjoy some more shots of this beautiful species. Thank you for watching and leave your reactions about this colony in the comments. A lot of people keep Nicobarensis, so tell me, how big is your colony? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Can we predict the worker count in the next video? I will say 500 workers. Alright, bye.